Shalom. I am Rabbi Nathan Davidovich speaking to on behalf of the Web Yeshiva. Talk about the effects of that rebellion and the root cause of that rebellion and the lesson that we learn from it in our lives, which is a lesson that we must realize the destructive effect of Lashon Hara, speaking bad about somebody, the destructive effect of jealousy and seeking that which God doesn't seem to want you to have, but that somebody else has, and the destructive effect of machlokas, fighting with one another. All these things can be learned from this story of Korach. Korach was a Levi. He wasn't just an ordinary person. He was on a very high level. He had the duty of carrying the Holy Ark. And he complained about Moses, about Aaron. He complained about why he wasn't given more to do, why he wasn't given the title that he deserved. The Rashi comments that one of the things that Korach was upset about was that the leadership of the tribe, of one of the sections of the tribe of Levi, was given to, not to him, but to the son of a younger brother of Aaron's father. Aaron's father had 4 brothers, and Korach felt that he should have been given the honor of being the head of that particular portion of the tribe. So he complained about that. And he complained about Moses leading the Jewish people, about Aaron the high priest being the position of a high priest. And he said, we're all holy. Why do you take this upon yourself? Of course, Moses didn't, if you recall, never wanted to be the leader of the Jewish people. God commanded him to do it despite his reservations about it, despite his not wanting to do it. So what happened? As a result, first of all, Moshe tried to calm them, tried to get Korach and his 250 followers to come to their senses. And Moses was a person who didn't have an ounce of jealousy in his body. He wasn't jealous of anything. In fact, when God wanted him to come to Egypt, he said, I can't really speak. So God said, let your brother speak for you. Aaron will speak for you. He wasn't jealous about that. But yet, Korach was extremely jealous. And because of that jealousy, he was violative of many, many commandments in the Torah. First of all, what he did was a machlokus, was a fight not only between Korach and his followers and Moses and Aaron, but was a fight against God himself, because God had decreed that things should be exactly as Moses wanted it. We are taught that machlokus, a fight between Jewish people, is worse than avodah zarah. We know that one of the 3 great sins that a person can commit is avodah zarah, idol worship. And the Shloh HaKadosh says that we can learn from a midrash that machlokas, fighting between another, is much worse than worshiping idols. And he gave examples from the midrash, which says that in Achav's generation, everybody worshipped idols. But they succeeded in their battles because they didn't speak Lashon Hora. They didn't talk bad about somebody else. In King David's generation, even young children knew a lot of Torah. But they went to war and lost because there was Lashon Hora. They were speaking about everyone else. The Shevet Musar points out that the man, the special sustenance that the Jews had in the wilderness, fell every single day. The one day it didn't fall was when Korach had this fight with God, with Moses, with Aaron. It even fell on the day that the Jews built this golden calf, which was idol worship. That wasn't enough to stop it, but the machlokas of Korach was. We know in the Pirkei Avos we are taught that three things drive a person from this world: kina, tava, and kavod. Being jealous of somebody else, improper desires, and looking for honor, searching for honor. And we look at people that get involved in machlokas and fighting with one another. What are they fighting about? Somebody thinks that, oh, I was insulted. He angered me. He hurt me in some way. So right away they start fighting with the other people. They don't understand that everything that happens really happens because God wants it to happen. It's like the dog who is biting the stick that somebody's using to hit him. It's not the stick that is hitting him, it's the person. When somebody is insulted, it's because God wants you to be insulted. When somebody does something bad that injures you, it's not that person, he's just a messenger. And we don't realize that. So instead we get involved in machlokas and fighting. Reb Shalom Wozner, Tzal, as is brought down by Rabbi Elimelech Biederman, was once asked how he managed to live such a long life. And he said, because he avoided machlokus, he avoided fighting. And he gave the following parable from the Imre Noam. He said there was a case where a lion asked the sheep to smell his breath and to tell him how it smelled. The sheep sniffed the lion's breath and told the lion the truth. Your breath smells terrible. The lion angrily replied, where is your respect for the king of all animals? And immediately devoured the sheep. Next, the lion asked the wolf for his opinion. And the wolf, having seen what happened to the sheep, said, my master, your breath smells lovely. How dare you lie to me, the lion roared, and devoured the wolf. Then the king of the jungle went to the fox and said, smell my breath and tell me how it is. The fox pointed to his nose and said, my nose is stuffed. I can't smell anything. And the Imre Noam said, this is what one should do when a machlokas is brewing. Stay away because getting involved will only cause trouble. And we should realize that peace and avoiding machlokas between one another are immensely rewarded in this world and the next. But as Rabbi Biederman points out, let us not forget that avoiding machlokas is in and of itself a reward. Living in tranquility, with no fights, peace with your neighbors, peace within the family, is the greatest of blessings. This in itself is the reward for those who avoid machlokas. As we say at the end of every Amidah, every Shemona Esrei, we say, Oser Shalom Romo Fu Yaser Shalom Aleinu. God brings peace in his higher realms. He should bring peace to us. Thou Kol Yisrael Yiromei. We should have peace amongst all Israel. That's how we end the most significant prayer of the daily services, asking for peace. Let us learn this lesson. Let us not engage in machlokas and fighting with one another, saying lashon hara about one another. Let's accept whatever God gives us and recognize that whatever happens to us, your emunah should tell you that this is hashgacha pratis. This is what God wants. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. I wish everybody a wonderful Shabbat.